That took a dark turn.
I don't know what you're talking about. I played it mostly a major scale.
No. Dude, that was nice.
That was fun.
So, we're on podcast number 5, my friend.
Yeah, podcast number 4 will
Yeah.
probably forever be missing.
4?
That was last week.
Oh, actually, I deleted. So that actually was number 5, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And then I just deleted it.
Okay.
So
this is...
our audio crashed last week, and you were not able to hear us.
Am I coming through? Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
So, I have exciting news, Dan. I got a new guitar.
I see that. Sounds nice, too.
Let's get a close-up, shall we? We have here the Schecter
7 strings.
Apocalypse Red Rain. And let me tell you, what we were just playing, I was like, this is it right here. This is it. There's nothing like, oh man, headphones getting caught.
We were playing background music to the action scene where the guy's chasing down the guy and you don't know whether he's gonna kill him.
Yeah,
That's
that was
exactly
like,
what we were playing.
Yeah, it was good because it's like Halloween.
Yeah.
We were getting that axe slayer coming in. Dude's running through the woods. He's already all beat up. He's probably missing an arm already. Yeah. He's running. He's
trying. He's got to get the guy. He's got to survive. I'm thinking like Shooter with who's the guy in Shooter?
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Wahlberg.
He's got a bullet in his
Marky
chest.
Mark.
He's just like, I gotta save my dog. My dog's dead. Spoilers.
Speaking of that, John Wick. I haven't seen it. Have you seen John Wick?
Yeah.
Is it awesome?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to see it, dude, because...
It's like a more believable Matrix.
Because you said the dog dying, and that's that's like the premise of...
I mean, so you either lose your family or you lose your dog. But a man never fights for his own life.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't happen in movies.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, I guess not really.
It's not a thing. Men
well,
fight
no,
to protect.
there was in a horror flick, yeah.
Okay.
Because
but was the main theme of the movie his fight for his life?
I don't know. Usually the main theme of a horror flick is like it's usually this dude he's kind of struggling with himself, whether it's his masculinity or his usually when it comes to a horror film, or he's going through a bad breakup and he's like trying to get away and it ends up being this horrific thing. And so it's like there's like this retribution at the end where he makes it out and it's like, holy crap, that dude made it out? I would have guessed it was the other guy that weighed 500 pounds heavier than him, that type of deal. So if we were in a horror movie, you would be the guy that would live.
I would live. That's kind of comforting, I guess.
Because I'm 500 pounds heavier than you. So it's just how that's the rules of the game in a horror flick.
You want to switch to the other camera so they can see us talking to each other?
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. So tell us about that little
Oh yeah, so we got some wild hardware going on here.
Some crazy stuff. Does it have active pickups?
It doesn't, and I stayed away from that because I just like the sound of passive.
Okay.
So this is a passive pickup in the bridge. This pickup, however, is some nutty stuff. The way I think it works, where you see the two blades, so like up here more, that is the Sustainiac system. Down here, where it's just this black block, is an actual pickup. So I can still get... So it's like So it has a nice tone. I like the tone in that pickup. It does sound. So it does sound nice. And then the bridge pickup just has, you know. So it sounds good, but the Sustainiac pickup, and what somehow it is able, when it gets activated, will sustain the note. And what's wild is that I can have the guitar not plugged in at all, and this thing will actually start making strings move without any sound. You'll see the vibration of the string. So like here, I'll turn it on. You see it? You see it moving?
Barely. I can hear it.
So that is no volume on the guitar, okay? That is literally the system doing its job. So now, when I turn the volume on, this is what that sounds like. And you have 3 settings. You have one setting where it'll go to the octave harmonic, go to a maybe third or a perfect fifth harmonic, and then there's just the note that's like, just keep me on that same note.
There's no battery that runs this thing?
Oh yeah, 9 volt.
Battery. Oh,
there is a 9 volt for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is some straight up witchcraft. Like, this is like
yeah, no. I'll show you
magic.
the back. So this is my natural note. It'll just play this forever until I let go. When I go in middle position, because it's a 3-way switch, this is middle position. It'll start hitting harmonics. And then this one is. I mean, it's just. Oh. This is the sound when I was a teenager. This sound right here, where I was like, holy crap. Like, that is just raw, rough, mean.
That's the sound.
I mean, I love it. So, and I never thought, like, and I experimented with extra. So, yeah, obviously it's a 7-string. First time I've ever played a 7-string ever. This guitar. I picked them up here and there, and I was like, this is cool. It still feels like a guitar. It's just, I studied classical guitar in college. Classical guitar necks are actually that big. They are that width. So
it was a lot wider than I was expecting. When I
yeah,
grabbed it.
electric guitar necks and regular steel string acoustic necks are smaller.
Especially Fender.
Yeah. So this actually feels like a classical guitar neck to me, but they fit 7 strings on it. So, and they also got a great low profile. So I mean, look at this. So you can still access everything fine, you know? I picked up the one guitar that I picked up that I was like, this is gonna take some time, was an 8-string. An 8-string guitar is like a whole new world of its own for me, because just that extra 2 strings opens up a whole new window of stuff. which even here, like I'm trying to figure out more recently, how do I just make simple chords? And I could do the regular old bar chord. I'm actually gonna switch the camera here.
Okay.
So I'll get a close up. Whoop. There we go. So here's an E chord. You know your old bar chord, regular old. The issue is you can't hit the third string because it's gonna sound like. So you don't want that. You could try to do this like crazy thing where you reach up a ways.
You could tune the top 5 strings to half a step down.
Could do that.
And do all fourths.
Could do that, yeah.
And, well, I guess it would be tune the bottom one a half a step down as well.
Yeah. You could do that. But I was just trying to figure out what are some of the easiest ways to do chords, and this is what I came up with. So right now I got... If I'm just strumming away. So here's my root. Here's my 7. So if I want to do a major 7, I would go like this, and then I would have to hit the 5th over here. So I technically get all the notes of the chord. I got root, 7, 3rd, and 5th. And then from there I can just start. There's my minor 7. And then if I wanted a diminished, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the shape I got, but it's like, this is my 5th fret, that's my 7th string. It's funny to say that. My 7th string, and then there's your 5th, 4th, and my 3rd string. There's your major 7 chord, your E major 7 chord. So I think that, me just figuring that out, there is an opportunity where I can start expanding chord harmony on it. Of course, it's going to take some time to do that, but, And then for people that are more shape orientated when it comes to scales, technically you're just taking the 2 high strings on a normal 6 string, and now they're on the bottom.
Yeah, no, I mean you can literally just repeat this shape.
Yeah.
And I mean if it was tuned off, I mean you just have 2 places that you make the E shapes.
So like if I was playing a B major scale. Oh, sorry. If I wanted to keep going. There you go. So you would have the yeah.
That was not B.
But so I think it opens up the gate. But you know what, the 8-string guitar in itself opens up a whole new world of chordal, being able to make chords. Like I can sit here and do some cool stuff. Like I like the fact that I can take all my E open chords and it just adds.
Dark.
And then of course you can do like that, slap. When you get a note this low, it's kind of fun to slap stuff. So, great guitar, dude. It's this is probably the most money I've ever spent on a electric guitar that I own. my main one here, the Ibanez that I play, that you'll see me play all the time. That guitar I got. Did I tell you the story about how I got that guitar?
I think you did,
This
but
Ibanez
I
already?
don't remember.
How I bought it off the side of a highway.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was a
you
guy,
met the guy. Yeah.
He was on Craigslist, and I was living in Massachusetts at the time. He was in New York, and I was like in Western Mass, so I was like towards the border. And I saw him on Craigslist, and he had a Floyd Rose on it, and that's the kind of guitar I was looking for, because in high school I was like, well, I want a freaking whammy bar on my guitar, so I can do like all this crazy crap, like. So I wanted that, and this had one. Wanted $250. I sent him an email. I said, "Hey, I'm interested in your guitar. I'm kind of living in Massachusetts. I'd like to meet." He sends me a message back. He's like, "Hey, man, I'll drive out to we could meet halfway or something, or And we were trying to figure out where, so we met at the exit on Interstate 90, and it might have been exit 2 or 3 when you're over in Western Mass, New York border there. And he had a battery-powered amp on his SUV. We plugged it in and it worked. And I said, all right, I'll take it. So that's the story behind this guitar. And then I put a new floating trem system in it.
Yeah.
And new pickups. And honestly, dude, this is a solid piece of wood. I don't know what it's made out of. It's just one of those mystery guitars. Like Ibanez stopped making this model guitar in the 80s. The EX is the model. The RG took over the EX series.
So that's an 80s guitar?
Mm-hmm.
That's in great shape for being from the 80s.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
So it was in great shape when I got it, and then I just took care of it. What I got to do is get a new selector switch, because that's kind of going bad. I should probably get a whole overhaul, get new pots, new selector switch, because the selector switch works, but it's just kind of finicky when I'm going to the neck bridge. It'll sometimes cut out, and I have to like shake it. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah.
So my selector switch is conveniently presses up against the volume knob, so I have to grab it on the sides.
Oh. Oh, bummer. So you can't turn your volume knob.
I can turn my volume knob. I just
I
gotta grab it from the top and bottom instead of just like quickly just slapping it or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I like about these little triangle ones, is they do make it kind of easy.
Yeah, but
to go from one.
The issue is oh my strap is around the chair. But no, it's just, if you look, I can't get my finger in between that.
Oh yeah, so you can't really grab it. You have to like take it and
So like if I'm playing and I want to switch, I gotta like literally take my strings. I can't just grab the pinky and just flip it.
You could probably, honestly, that's why some people would laugh at this on this guitar. And I'm going to change the camera again. On this guitar, I actually have it says tone. Whoop. It says tone where it's supposed to be volume. And the reason why is because I didn't have a switch that said volume that was this style, and I wanted this style because it was small and easy to grab. And your finger, when you put your finger on that, because it has that like fan out bottom, it just rests right on there.
Yeah.
And so when I was playing in the band back home, that was my volume right there. That's how I controlled all my volume.
Yeah.
And also, tone. But yeah. So maybe you would like to get some of those on there. I don't know, but I think it would work because they're shorter.
See, I can't bring myself to deface this beauty.
I hear you.
I can get the volume just fine with the pinky, but what I do is I use my volume pedal, and I just leave the volume at 100% on the guitar.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the appropriate thing to do, but That's what I do.
I mean, people do it. I use it because you can get different tones. Like you can get the guitar to clean up if you turn your volume down a little bit. Like so, if you're doing a lot of gain. So here's my gain. Actually, this is a good test because I haven't tried it on this guitar. So here's level 1. And then I turn it up.
Let me
Try it.
step on my volume. I need to work on gain stage 2. It's still almost non-existent. So let's see.
So
it's there. I think my compressor eliminates some of that though.
Oh, I see.
Because I got my compressor up front.
Oh, I see.
Because I want. So my whole thing is I want pretty consistent signal coming out of the guitar, no matter what, and then I want to adjust the volume with my volume pedal.
Okay.
And so I send my signal through my compressor,
Yeah.
and then my gain stages. And I don't want much variance based on like
The guitar.
Yeah, if I'm like going from picking, and then I go to strum, I don't want major changes in volume.
Yeah.
I want I want it to stand to do ambient stuff if needed. If I need to just pick real fast, or,
Yeah.
if I need to fill out chords. So it just that's my philosophy behind what I do.
Yeah. Well, you're a modern guitar player, Dan.
I am. I don't like driving my church guy insane either. My church sound guy insane. So I try to keep all my volume levels the same, no matter what I do, no matter what I turn on and off.
Yeah.
I want my volume to stay the same.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I'm sure it would go well if I started playing in your church. It would go great.
There's other guitarists that have different philosophies, and I have an overdrive.
First of all, I would have to bring I'd have to have What'd you do?
So this is a clean boost.
Yeah. Turn your. Are you using your volume knob?
It adds a little bit of crunch. I'm gonna try changing the order that it boosts. I didn't work on that. It does nothing.
What were you trying to do? You were trying to what?
It's a clean boost. It should clean boost the volume by like 20 dB or 10 dB.
Oh, I'll try it again. I want to hear the difference.
Off. On.
Well, it sounds like it's pushing the signal a little bit.
It is a little bit, but this is almost 90 degrees turned. So it should be a lot. It may just be the.
Wait a minute. Is it your compressor?
No, because it's after the compressor.
It's after the compressor.
So this OCD, I don't believe has a compressor in it.
Well, it almost sounds like it opens up your guitar more. Like it opens up all what's happening. Yeah. Like it just makes your guitar sound like. Yeah. I can tell the difference. It sounds cool.
It's subtle.
Yeah. It almost, like I said, it just brings out the.
I bet it does differently on a PA system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a thing, dude.
Actually, let me watch this guitar signal on through the stream.
It's staying the same, kind of. But I can tell something different every time you press it. But yeah, I think it has something to do with being through a digital thing. Because my amp, dude, sounds a lot different when it's just through the speaker than all this stuff. But I mean, that would be what I would use if I was to show up at your church to play.
Yeah.
I'd bring my whole stack over and
we'd hide it in a closet, run a big line down to it. That's what we do.
You'd put it in the basement.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
And I'd be like, yo, I want it on stage, dude.
No. You try to keep stage volume to a minimum.
This is church, sir. You can't just be bringing up Marshall cabinets.
Well,
and full-blown 120-watt heads.
That's actually not the issue. The issue is sound mixing.
That's a satanic look right there. Look at that.
Oh no, they have Marshall amps and they're loud. It's just the issue is the sound guy needs to blend it. You know?
See that? It's a satanic look. You can't be having that in church. I'm just kidding. It should. It should be allowed.
Well, the issue is the sound guy can't control the volume coming out of it, and so he can't blend for the room if you have that on stage. That's the real issue.
Yeah.
So.
And if he puts a mic up to it, which honestly, we had a sound guy. He was great in the band I was in back home, and he would mic that thing up. He just put one mic up to it, and maybe turn it up to like negative something. Like he wouldn't put it at 0, the volume.
Mm-hmm. He'd
put me at like negative something, just enough to where it fills the PA, but the amp is really pushing the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it sound. He would make it so it sounded like it was there everywhere.
Yeah.
But the amp is really pushing
the drums kind of, you do that with drums as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was great, man. And I forgot his name. Lee. That was his name. He was a good sound guy. He knew his stuff. But yeah. So I honestly would like to get another head. If I was to get another head, I would get a Crate BV120. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A Crate X100. No, what am I saying? I'm saying my own amp. I would get a Carvin X100B. I have a Crate BV120.
I was going to say.
There's too many B's and X's and CA something, it's just. Mm-hmm. So Carvin X100B Series 4 is just an awesome amp, and I would love to get my hands on one.
I'm a fan of the orange amps. I also like Fender amps.
Yep. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, but the Fender amp that I have is like 120 watts. And so I go from 0 to 1 and it's too loud.
Well, that's what I have. I have a 120 watt head and I got a 4x12 cabinet. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing, dude, I'll put that thing on like at 9 o'clock. It won't be a quarter on. And the room is like shaking.
Mm-hmm. Which is a shame because, I mean, I have a 60 watt orange amp. And that thing I can get to about three-quarters of the way, or quarter of the way. And it really brings out more characteristics of the amp. If you leave it too low, you got to really get to the middle and the higher end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did get a chance to run my orange amp at 10.
Yeah.
We couldn't mic up the guitars or anything. We were in this venue, and we were playing as loud as possible.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear a thing. Worst sound quality in our life. Best concert I've ever played.
You were feeling it.
Everyone was feeling it. It was a Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
And so they had people rolling on the floor and stuff like that. It was great. People speaking in tongues, which, but they were into it.
Right.
They were into it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm used to getting the people looking up at me like, it's like, hi.
Yeah.
You want to join me in singing, or you just want to stare
at me? Yo, it's so funny, man. Because when I was in the band back home, we had all sorts of wild stuff happen. The funnest gig I ever did was at this place. I think it was We did one in Greenfield, Massachusetts, where we were doing covers of a band called Roxy Music, which was like a prog British rock group. And we were doing covers. And it was a competition. We might have gotten second or first place. I can't remember. But that crowd was loving it. And I had listened to the music, and I thought the guitar parts were cool, but I wanted to add more because we just had more going on. We had a saxophone player, an extra percussion guy, a drummer, bass player, keyboards, acoustic guitar, and 2 singers. So I just wanted to do more. So I was doing more, and some people in the front row were playing air guitar when I was doing solos. And then another gig, I can't even remember where this was at, but it was in the middle of nowhere, probably up in Maine, or no, or New Hampshire. And dude, we went to this bar and we started playing, and these people, the whole bar was dancing and just going nuts. And it was crazy. And that was a night where this woman comes up to me, and this was the funny thing. I was 17, 19, and the rest of the band was like in their mid-30s or late 20s. And so I was actually not allowed to be there, but basically I just wouldn't eat or drink anything.
Yeah.
I was there to perform. I was there to work.
Get a mark on your hand or something like that?
Yeah. But this woman comes up to me, and I mean, and she had been drinking, but she gives me her phone number. She's like, "Here, you should call me." And the dude she's with is like standing not too far away. And so she hands me this number, and then she turns around and he says something to her, and then she like pushes him and walks away. There was a lot of drinking going on, so
People make great decisions while drunk, don't they?
Oh man,
the best decisions.
And what was another one? Oh, and then we played a 4th of July event, which was really sick. It was East Long Meadow's 4th of July, and we were playing on the main stage. And was that fun? There was people all over. We did another one up in Amherst, Mass, which was a restaurant. All the restaurants in the town common brought their food outside, and they started serving little things for like, $5, $2 you could get. They called it the Taste of Amherst because you just go along the street and they just have their little food truck and you try their food, and it would be less portions, but you would get to taste it all. So we did that. That was another big venue with thousands of people. That was pretty cool. So, yeah.
Cool.
But, Pentecostal church, same deal.
Same deal. They weren't snake handlers, but they were close.
You were just missing the chick that was giving you her phone number. That's what you were missing.
Maybe. Well.
And then she looks at the dude she's with, like, he's filled with more spirit than you. Slaps him.
I'm not involved.
How dare you? She's like, you haven't even spoken in tongues yet.
I haven't either. Well.
And you're like, lady, settle down.
Calm down. There's enough of me to go around. I think that's a sign of a false prophet or something like that.
There was a movie, and I forgot what it was called, but it had Woody Harrelson in it, and the dude from The Office. Not Steve Carell, but the guy that falls in love with the girl and marries her.
Rainn Wilson? No.
He played.
Yeah, John Krasinski.
Is that the dude? Because he played in that movie with
He
the
played Jim.
monsters.
With the what?
He played in that movie, Quiet Place.
Yeah, John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Krasinski, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, John Krasinski and Woody Harrelson played in a movie where John Krasinski was a Texas Ranger sent to go search this small town where people just end up going missing. He goes up to the small town. Woody Harrelson's a preacher in that town, and it's all a cult. Like, you're talking about rattlesnakes and stuff. The whole thing is like cult. You know, everybody's like, you know, swinging with their spouses and everything, and it's just nasty stuff. And he ends up killing Woody Harrelson. But man, do you remember there was a movie, The Revenant, that came out too? And
yeah, I never saw it.
The fight scene at the end of that is just like a brutal fight. And this was another movie, man, where you're watching this fight and they're just shooting the crap out of each other, and eventually it gets to a part where they're just laying on the ground. They're just shot up. Texas Ranger killed all the henchmen. Woody Harrelson's left. They're just sitting there laying down, and they're just dying. But Krasinski comes out and he pulls it off. But that was a crazy movie.
What's the movie's name? That sounds familiar.
I wish I could remember. I can't remember.
I might have to look it up.
Yeah. But well, hey, I can look it up probably right now.
Huh?
I can look it right now on this secret device I have in my pocket.
Pay no attention to the device behind the curtain.
Woody Harrelson and John. How do you say that?
John Krasi. NKSI, I think.
The Duel. Okay. And what better name, right, than that? The Duel.
I hadn't even heard this movie.
It was in 2016.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
You know what? I'm sorry. It wasn't John Krasinski. It was Liam Hemsworth. Sorry. I saw the face and it like changed in my mind. So honestly, I kind of like that dude too. So he does a great job. Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, The Duel, 2016 film.
I might have to check
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sounds
good.
like it.
Woody Harrelson does a great nut job.
Yeah, he does.
Character.
Yeah, he does.
Just saw him in the new Venom movie. That was also good.
I haven't seen the first Venom movie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It was funny. You'll get a few laughs. So we didn't talk about our playlist, Dan.
Of the week?
Yeah, playlist of the week today.
That's fair. Okay. Do you want to talk about last week's as well?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
All right. You want to go first?
I don't even remember what I said last week.
I don't remember what you said either. I remember what I said, but
you said something about Bethel.
Yeah, Bethel's got a new album.
I was talking about Van Halen, I think.
You might have been talking about
Van Halen. Yeah. So you were talking about Bethel, and I was talking about Van Halen, and then we were just like, yeah, everybody, check out Bethel and Van Halen.
Bethel's new album, Homecoming, is fantastic.
Okay.
This week I've been listening to Hillsong. You know, naturally just going through those just mainline worship bands.
Yeah.
But Hillsong United has they did a concert in New York at the Oh, what's that big concert venue there? Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They had a big concert there, and been listening to that album.
When was that?
This year.
Really?
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
with everything going on,
yeah,
New York let them do that.
Apparently, I guess as long as it makes sure state money,
Wow.
Yeah. It's a fantastic album. Also.
Yeah.
It's not really an album. It's just basically a concert in an album form. It's on Spotify.
Well, some of those, dude, some of those live performances of certain groups, you're just like, this is nice. Like, it just sounds like totally different. You've heard the song, but the live version, you're like,
has a different energy to it. Has a different mix. Yeah.
Yeah, like the album that blew me away was there was AC/DC had a live album out, and it's like a double CD thing, and I found it at a flea market. I was like, hey, AC/DC. So I bought it. Had all the tracks that I liked on it, and I said, oh, let's just see. AC/DC live is just another dimension. Like, there's listening to the CD, and then there's listening to them live. Dude, the guitar is so much bigger. It's just monstrous. The tone and the riffs and everything that they do, and Brian Johnson coming out, doing his crazy screaming / soul singing.
I think that's one thing that I like about like a lot of worship music is these bands, they almost exclusively perform live.
Right.
And so they're used to performing live. They don't.
Yeah. They
go into the studio on occasion just to record stuff, but.
Right.
Anymore, they're even recording live during a worship service at a church, and not even, and maybe they'll remaster a track or something afterwards. But
right.
But yeah,
it sounds. I'm sure it sounds raw, and it's when you're playing live, it's a whole different vibe. Yeah. Because you have people watching you, and they're getting into it.
Feedback,
and you're getting into it, and it can sound like a totally different song. To a certain point. But I will say, when you lock yourself in the studio and you record an album, you basically are putting together the fine tunings. Because I realized that when we went in the studio, there was a couple of things that I would do. There was a lot of stuff I would do on the guitar. But once they put a mic up to my amp and I was in a room by myself and having to play things, I was like, I almost had to like minimize what I didn't feel as free, because now it's like, okay, we're doing this and this. And so when I came out of that, the songs were like grained into my head.
Yeah.
And then like the live performances just became better because
it flows out from you, because I mean that's the beauty of memorizing music versus reading it off the sheet, is just it becomes part of you, and it's an expression that pours out from you, and as long as you put in enough effort, it just comes out pretty easily.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm not big on having to read. Like, I'll read music, and that's what I do, like, technically for the group I'm playing, and now I read a lot of music, read a lot of charts, and you can feel it. Like, you can get to a point where you can read and also feel it, but dude, it's just a whole nother thing when you're just sitting there without it and going. Like this past Wednesday, I was doing a gig, and I was like trying to figure out material to do, and it was kind of a classic rock crowd. So I started playing some Zeppelin. And it was funny because I had my acoustic guitar, but I had a looper pedal. So I did Whole Lot of Love, right? So I did the whole I looped this part. So I looped that. the secret to that riff? You want to know the secret to that riff?
What is it?
So, ring finger on your E. Sorry. Oh, I was doing that wrong. No, I was doing it right. So you got your finger on your B, ring finger on B, first finger, 5th string, D. So do this. B, ring finger. Remember, I got 7 strings over here, so it's throwing you off. This is your E string.
Yeah. Oh.
Now, but when you hit that, make sure you hit the 4th string and bend upwards. Watch. So you get that dissonant. Put your bend towards you that way. Yeah. You play the string open. You play that string. You play this string open. So your 4th string is played open. So you're hitting the 2 of them at once. You see it? So play them both. Yeah. Where you hear that wobble. Because you're hitting the same note twice. So here's your right, but when you bend it, it creates that wobble.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of that dissonance that just makes it feel a little bit bigger.
It makes it feel bigger. And then you slide up to that E power chord with the open high strings. Yeah. So anyway, but I was playing that at the bar, and I looped it. And then for the part where it gets all eerie, I was able to loop me doing like some percussive stuff on the guitar. I looped that, and I just started doing I turned up the reverb on my amp, and I just started doing all this like doing all sorts of weird stuff, and then I finished the song. Like I got to the part where it goes or whatever, and then I got back to the riff, and I finished the song, and this dude was sitting at a table across the way, and he goes, "Nice! You're drunk now. I can hear it."
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was funny. But that was cool, having the looper, doing a gig with that. I don't know how I got onto that. Why did I start talking about that? Do you know? Dang. So, anyway, just talking about myself.
I was so caught up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get that.
I keep muting the other string. Well, you want to play over anything?
Oh my gosh, we're at an hour.
We're at an hour.
That's all right. Did we talk about Oh, I didn't talk about my playlist, Dan. You skipped me.
I'm sorry.
That's how we got into this.
Yeah. Okay.
I was listening to, I'll just say what I was listening to this week. I was listening to Tom Morello's solo albums.
That just sounds like it's just guitar experimentation.
Get this.
Is it?
He does, I don't know if there's maybe two albums now. He does an album called The Night Watchman that is him singing and playing acoustic guitar. That is it. Some added instruments here and there. Dude, it is awesome.
I might have to check it out.
There's a lot of his stuff is very political.
Oh yeah, that's his whole
And
thing.
a lot of the stuff he sings about, I may not necessarily agree with. But he's got one song called One Man Revolution. And at some point, and the song's like a story about this guy that he gets framed by the cops, and he's on the run, but he starts saying that cops or police came, did this, whatever, planted evidence, and now they found this, and he said it sarcastically. They found this. Now how about that? But now I'm in a bush with a baseball bat. And I was like, that is a dope line. And then he starts singing the chorus where he's like, and I'm a one-man revolution. And I'm like, wow, this is a good song. So I felt it.
I was always into Rage Against the Machine.
Were you?
Not politically, but musically, they're solid.
Yeah. You would probably dig this album because it's just him singing.
I love Tom Morello.
Yeah.
I liked Audio Slave.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Morello, Chris Cornell.
Dude. Well, that album,
Rest of the band.
like lyrically, I felt that was a pretty good album. Like when it came to lyrics, like I felt like some of the songs on there sounded a lot like a prayer.
Yeah, they did.
Like Light My Way.
Yeah. Black Hole. Or, not Black Hole, so that's a...
Show Me How to Live.
Show Me How to Live, yeah.
Dude.
Cochise.
Yeah. I felt like Cochise was like a song that was like a friend singing to a friend that had a drinking problem or depression or something.
It was about an Indian chief.
Really?
It's my understanding, yeah. Named Cochise.
Oh. I didn't know.
I don't even know if that's right or not. I think that's what it was about. We didn't miss any comments from anybody, did we?
No, I think there is one.
There's a comment?
There's a comment.
Oh, who's it from?
From somebody in Springfield, Mass.
Hello, Springfield, Mass.
I think it's my mom.
Okay. Well, so was that your playlist this week, Tom Morello? Gotta get that new guitar into tune.
Yeah, Tom Morello. I was listening to Clutch once again because they're fun, and yeah, I wish I could remember what I was talking about last week, but I can't. So, I was listening to an album that came up as like something you might like. And I was listening to it, and I was like, this is really good stuff. And I'm looking at it, and I see one of their music videos pop up. And the first picture I see of the music video, I'm looking at the image, and I'm like, there's this little kid, and there's this guy. And I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, that looks like Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, that's right. It's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Wolfgang's band, Wolfgang Van Halen.
It's a heck of a name.
And it was his band. And He's got a group. He's got a project called Mammoth. And the front of the album cover is hilarious. There's a dude in a suit with a suitcase, and he's standing on the sidewalk looking at a massive, monstrous, like you're talking a mammoth-sized crab that's like destroying a gas station.
That's amazing. You don't get album covers like that too often.
Yeah, and when you listen to the album, it's just a good rock album. He's a lot of fun, and you know, he's kind of insightful, I feel like, and he's got some pain. And then he's got the last song in the album he dedicated to his dad, and it actually is a really beautiful song.
Nice.
And you listen to it and you're like, dang. That's deep.
Those makes for good art. It's unfortunate, but it makes for good art.
Yeah. Yeah. So props to him. I mean, he plays bass, and I think he's doing a good job. It doesn't sound like Van Halen. I mean, it sounds like a more modern rock metal-esque sound, but there's a lot of harmony and vocal melody that just catches your ear. It's not just like it's. You know, it's not like how I was saying, like with Van Halen, David Lee Roth is jumping around and doing those crazy high-pitched squeals, and you know,
he's showing what a guitar is capable of, not necessarily how it should be used.
David Lee Roth, or you mean
Van Halen?
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Hey man, he was a big deal.
I like the quote from Ozzy Osbourne. I have no idea if he even.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. We talking about Joe Satriani,
where he's like, yeah, just like I want a guitar riff that makes a 12-year-old want to learn guitar. Not a guitar riff that impressed like Joe Satriani or whoever he mentioned.
Yeah. He mentioned Joe. I remember that. Yeah.
So I thought that was like, yeah, you know, I get that.
Yep.
It's because it's like, you know, Miley Cyrus. It's such a simple riff. Party in the USA. No guitarist is going to admit they learn it, but every guitarist is going to learn it because it's so much fun.
You know, honestly, I have not learned it.
You have not learned it.
Dude, the store I work in, we have a Hannah Montana guitar, purple. Oh, and these kids came in. Dude, was this story that I told last podcast?
I think it was, yeah.
And we didn't get to tell it, right? Yeah. It has not been released yet. This story is great. I was sitting in the music store and working, and this kid comes in, and he has the haircut that's like going over one eye.
Yeah.
The little thing, and
got that full emo look.
Yeah, he's really thin, and he comes in with his friend who's like this big kid, comes walking in, you know, pulling his pants up. and they come in and they're looking around, and I'm looking at the two of them, and I'm kind of laughing, and I go in, and he's like, "Can we just try the guitars? Like any guitar?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So he's like looking at him, and he picks up what does he pick up? The first guitar he picks up was well, I remember handing him a Strat, like a Fender Strat that we had. And I said, "Here, try this out." So he picks it up, he starts playing. He knows, little did I know that the entire time he was playing Nirvana songs.
That's right.
But it was kind of like this, like, he's trying to remember it, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, and he's like trying to remember it. And so he's playing it, and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds like," and I named some, and he's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Isn't that?" And he's like, "No, that's Nirvana." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." that happened 3 times where I was looking at him and I was like, that sounds like this. And he's like, no, it's Nirvana. That happened 3 times. so, so he's trying out these guitars and playing them. And I said to him and his friend, I said, hey, if you really want to impress that girl at school, we got the Hannah Montana guitar over here. And that'll really turn some heads. And he goes, and he starts laughing. And he's like, dude, I might actually buy that as a joke. And then he goes, and I said, yeah, so you save your money, man. He's like, I said, because he said he had to go, they were there because they were working right after.
Yeah,
I said,
right.
So where do you guys work? And he's like, oh, we work at the Little Caesars on the street.
That's right.
And it was just so perfect. They got an old army green pickup truck, rusty, when they left and everything, and went to go work at Little Caesars. And as they leave, I'm with my coworker, and I just start laughing. I'm like, dude. And he's like, yeah, geez, little did we know Wayne's World was gonna show up today. and I'm like, honestly, I'm encouraged because I never thought I was gonna see that again. I thought like me and my friends were like the last group that was kind of like that, but look at that.
Next generation carrying it on.
They're carrying.
They've
picked up
there's
the ladle and they're scooping it out.
There is some 14-year-old girl right now sitting in her room listening to early 2000s rock talking about how she was born in the wrong decade.
Probably. No, yeah, you meet them. You meet some kids like that, yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, but, oh, man. Yeah, so they drive away in their pickup truck, and while as they left, I said, yeah, so all you got to do is pick up a couple of shifts over there at Little Caesars. You'll have yourself a new guitar. And so they left, and he actually came back and brought his guitar in for repair.
Okay.
Because he wanted it to get fixed, and so he got his guitar back and all that. Came in with a Nirvana shirt.
Naturally.
Yeah.
It's got to have that drip.
Oh, man. It was hilarious. And, but yeah, my coworker was being so funny about it. I was like, yes, I think I saw a slice fall out of the tailgate as they took off.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right. What do you want to play?
Let's figure this out here. What time is it? What time is it? Oh my goodness.
That sounds like Blink-182.
Something like a...
Yeah, I won't be able to do that.
Just play a nice big old B major chord for me. Actually, play it over here like this, but omit the third and play a 9 instead. Like that. Have you done this before? Yeah. for this. You ready? E major scale. I'm sorry, E major scale. So here's the trick here. I'm playing a B mixolydian progression. So that's why E major. So listen to this. fret 7. There it is.
There it is.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
That was like a psychedelic journey.
It's stuff you study to or fall asleep to or just lose yourself in while playing guitar.
Nice. Well, what do you think? That's a wrap?
I think that's a wrap.
All right. Cool. All right, everybody. It's been real.
See you guys.
Take it easy. Until next